Is it permissible to raise your hands and make dua after the salah? Yes, it is. Bring me evidence that says that it's not. Okay, dua is unrestricted when it comes to the times and places in which you can make it. That means that the burden of proof shifts. Okay, you have something like dhikr, or you have something like dua, which we are commanded and encouraged to perform. Then when it comes to restricting that and saying that we can't do it at a certain time or we can't do it at a certain place, then the burden of proof shifts upon the person who's trying to say that we can't do it. Okay, so is it permissible to raise your hands and make dua after the salah? Yes, it is. Bring me evidence that says that it's not, right? What some people have become sensitive to is the idea that if somebody has the belief or the intention that to raise their hands in dua at a specific time is something that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ actually instructed. Okay, if you have the belief that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did something in worship and he didn't do it, right? And you're saying let's say, for example, let's say that I have the belief that 7 p.m. is a particularly blessed time, and that if I sit down at 7 p.m. to make dua, that my dua are going to be accepted, or my dua are more valuable or more pious than dua made at 6:59 or made at 7:01. I need evidence for that, okay? And if I don't have evidence for that, then this is something that is an innovation, right? Because this is something that is not communicated by divine guidance. However, if I specify 7 p.m. as a time when I make dua, just because that's what fits best in my schedule, right? I'm working all day, and then at 6:30 and I have to pick up the kids, and I've got, to prepare dinner and all this other stuff, and 7 p.m. is the most convenient time for me, okay? I have not ascribed to that practice any sort of otherworldly benefit that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't communicate, right? You see the difference there. And so that type of thing is perfectly permissible. And people do this with the Quran, right? They say, okay, after Fajr prayer, I'm going to sit and read Quran, or I'm going to read one juz, or I'm going to read a half of a juz, or I'm going to read a page, or whatever it is. Or a lot of people have said, okay, well, I'm trying to finish a certain amount of the Quran, and so I'm going to read a page before my prayers and a page after my prayers. There's no scriptural evidence for this sort of thing, right? But it's not a bid'ah, it's not an innovation, because the person is not ascribing an otherworldly benefit to it that has not been communicated by Allah Azza wa Jalla to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. They're simply doing it out of making a schedule for themselves and trying to do based off of what is convenient.